Hey, what's up, everybody? Trent of the Trenternet here. It's been quite a while. I apologize for my long absence. It's been a while since I did a video talking to you guys. So the channel is not dead. I'm not dead. Channel's not going anywhere. Content is coming. I did take a new job about almost 2 years ago now, actually. And that job is just very feast or famine. And what I mean by that is I go through periods of time where I am extremely busy, like crazy busy, in and out of normal working hours. And then I have some time where I'm just normal busy for the 40-ish hours a week. And so we are in a very busy period right now, hopefully on the tail end of it. And I hope to get back to making more regular content. It's just very difficult to make my favorite long-form documentary type videos on Castlevania and obscure fighting games like that. That being said, I do have some stuff in the pipeline for the Secret Characters podcast, which is coming back with an exciting new topic. Just working on nailing down some interview times, as well as some more long-form documentary content. I think I've decided on my next topic, and so we'll just see how it goes. But anyway, I thought today I would stop by and talk about this latest Tekken news that comes as we're on the precipice of the first Tekken World Tour final for Tekken 8. And so, of course, there is one DLC character left for Season 1. Nobody knows who it is. Everyone just assumed that the reveal would be during the Tekken World Tour Finals, which is coming up this week. But then this tweet dropped that I'm showing you here. So I thought we would look at this tweet and read it. This was posted to X. Fighters, with the excitement growing for the upcoming Tekken World Tour 2024 Global Finals, the Tekken team would like to share more details regarding the major events coming up this week. New information about future updates for Tekken 8 will be announced. However, the next playable character, no additional information will be revealed during the events. Our team is currently working on the announcement and release later this winter to ensure we can fully meet everyone's expectations. We are preparing a warm welcome for all headed to Tekken World Tour 2024 Global Finals, where the first world champion of Tekken 8 will be crowned King of Iron Fist, and to the Tekken 30th anniversary event, Excellent Tekken Festival, which will feature various Tekken-related activities. We look forward to welcoming you both at the venue and through online streaming for both events. Now, be warned, I don't have a script for this video. I wrote some talking points for myself to keep me from rambling, but I don't really have a script here. We're just going to kind of give my thoughts on this. So first of all, not having a character ready to announce at the World Tour Global Finals, especially the first one for Tekken 8, especially when everyone knows there's another character being developed, is just kind of a no-win situation for Namco, in my opinion. Obviously, by the fact that they decided they had to put this tweet out, they knew that the outrage and the just anger about no character reveal at the end would be so great that they felt the need preemptively to cut it off at the pass with this tweet, which I feel like kind of takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails of the event. I know that, like, if you look at Tekken 8 Steam numbers, they've dropped. They're not quite as good as Tekken 7 was. A lot of people are dissatisfied with the current state of Tekken 8, so they've quit playing it, or they've stepped away for a bit or taken a break. I have not played as much Tekken 8 as I thought I would play, and I have to say that if this next character, whenever it is announced, is something that's not exciting and or there's not some sort of huge update or balance change, I'll probably be stepping away from the game a little bit myself. I'm just kind of fatigued on it between years of hardcore playing Tekken 7 and then playing 8 and just the game that Tekken 8 is. I'm a little tired of it. But, the right character could bring me back. This is an extremely puzzling situation to me. Everybody knows how fighting games work. Content is always announced at these events, these majors and majors, especially events that pertain to like the circuit for the game, the official circuit, which the Tekken World Tour is. What's really strange for me is this second paragraph. It says, our team is currently working on the announcement and release later this winter to ensure that we can fully meet everyone's expectations. This is strange to me because I think it would have been perfectly acceptable to show who this character is, even if you didn't have, for example, in-game footage. So if you guys recall with Tekken 7, when Negan was announced, there was no gameplay shown of Negan. When he was revealed, they just showed like some music from The Walking Dead. And then they showed like a still frame CG image of Negan, and that was it. There was no trailer, there was no anything. Now, that said, I think Negan was an awful choice. I'm not the best fan of guest characters anyway, but for the people who were going to be excited by this, I think they were legitimately excited, and this was enough to hold them over. Especially people who maybe bought Tekken 7 for Negan, which I'm not sure of how many there were. I know a lot of people from Final Fantasy bought Tekken 7 to try out Noctis, but I just don't know if there's a large amount of crossover there. Neither here nor there, however. It's very strange to me that it seems like they know who the character is. They say they want to meet everyone's expectations, but they still feel that they cannot show a still image of the fighter or some sort of teaser trailer like with Kunimitsu. So when Kunimitsu was revealed for Season 4 of Tekken 7, they just showed like a character far away on a pagoda standing at the top, and it was like a quick teaser, and most people knew who it was. It's kind of strange to me that they feel like this isn't even at the point where we could do something like that. It's just very strange to me. I don't know why you would do this. And I feel like this majorly deflates kind of the hype for the Tekken World Tour 2024. Now, if you're a serious competitive player that's not already at the tournament or competing in the tournament, you'll probably tune in for this thing. But given Tekken 8's numbers are dwindling, I don't know how many people that is. I feel like there's a lot of people who really like Tekken, like myself. They play it online a good bit. They have like a local circle of Tekken 8 players they play with. They're probably going to watch something like this in anticipation of the final match and the big reveal for who the character is. I feel like that's something that sadly makes a lot of tournaments worth it. Again, if you're a big tournament guy and you like watching competitive Tekken, you're probably going to watch anyway, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. But I feel like there's those people who are on that weird fringe between not competitive tournament player and not necessarily casual either, that tune in because they're expecting some kind of content, some kind of something to keep them interested or keep them going. And I think a lot of those players are going to be left holding the bag with this announcement. They're going to see this. They're going to say, oh, there's no reveal. There's nothing to watch. I'll just go on there and I'll see who was in the top 8 in the finals after the fact, if they even want to do that. So I think this is a really deflating announcement. I really wish Namco could have at least shown like, you know, hey, here's what's coming for changes in Season 2, and then put a stinger at the end of it which shows you the silhouette of this character, or maybe just the CGI image of the character, and it says more gameplay coming soon or whatever. I think that would have been perfectly acceptable. But here they just kind of said, we're going to talk about the future of the game. We're not going to show you who the character is, although this seems to imply they already know who it is. And so they could very easily get a CGI image of some kind together. Now, that being said, there is also the possibility that this is some sort of guest character. I know Mike Hollow, I watched a little bit of his reaction to this. Like Mike's videos, he usually has pretty solid takes. He felt like this has to mean it's a guest character, like 100%. And that they're not going to reveal this at Tekken, but rather they're going to reveal this at like the Game Awards or some other event where more casual people are watching. And I guess his logic of thinking is, you know, if I'm not a big Tekken fan, and they announce somebody like Tifa Lockhart, I'm probably not going to be watching the Tekken World Tour Final because I don't care. I don't know what it is. But if I'm a Final Fantasy fan, or if I'm a fan of Yakuza, or if I'm a fan of Hokuto no Ken, or whatever crazy franchise it is, I might be watching the Game Awards. And there might be some other people who are tangentially involved in whatever guest character's franchise it is who are watching the Game Awards, or whatever it is. And they announce this guest character, and they're like, oh, this character I really like is going to be in Tekken. I should check that out. And my stance, I will say, if you watch this channel a while, you know I do not like guest characters in fighting games, especially Tekken, because Tekken is a legacy player, knowledge-driven game. And so, like, if I've got a character like, for example, Akuma in Tekken 7, and he never comes back again, I invest a lot of time. Like, learning a Tekken character is a very heavy endeavor to main a character and learn a character and know that character. So when you have someone like Akuma or Noctis or Geese that's there and then they're gone for Tekken 8 and Tekken 9 and Tekken 10 and they don't come back, well, it's kind of like, I wasted that time. I don't get to carry on that knowledge to the next game. I also think that guest characters can knock out other characters that maybe if you're more so a fan of Tekken itself rather than just like fighting games, it can knock other characters out. I mean, you look at what happened with Mortal Kombat 1 and all the uproar over like Combat Pack 2 being like, what was it, 4 guests? And like 2 or 3 I think it was 3 Mortal Kombat characters, Noobs, Cyrax, and Sector. And then everything else was just a guest. And so a lot of people were left saying, where's the Mortal Kombat characters in my Mortal Kombat game? Like, you have realized that these guest characters bring in more casual players and therefore more money. And so you're kind of pushing your own game's characters and franchise characters to the back burner so you can bring in Terminator and you can bring in T-1000 and all these other characters and try to sell them to a more casual audience. And so that's just one of the many reasons I don't like guest characters. That said, I have softened a little bit on it, and I'll tell you why, because of the Castlevania crossover with Vampire Survivors. I bought that game because of the Castlevania crossover and because it allowed me to play as characters I have not played as since Castlevania 64 and Castlevania Legacy of Darkness 20 years ago. I think Vampire Survivors is a game that can easily do crossovers, and like you've got that Return to Castlevania DLC with the other game, I forget what it is. I think there's a time and a place for it where franchises can intermingle, but when we talk about something that's as big of legacy knowledge as a fighting game, I'm just not the biggest fan of guest characters. Although I have softened to it a little bit. I do at least understand it more now, and I can see how you would be enticed to come try Tekken if a character you really cared for ended up in it. I know I've got a lot of friends that say, oh, if Tifa Lockhart was ever in the game, I would play it. Maybe this is because it's a guest character, and the Tekken World Tour is not the right time to announce it. That was Mike's take. I could see that happening. The other thing I could see happening was Namco has just dropped the ball again. There's been so many L's that Tekken 8 has taken because of Namco's poor planning and poor communication and poor forethought. Whether it's something as very important as the balance of the game, and just the kind of flow of Tekken 8. A lot of people will say, oh, it's a casino game. It's just 50-50. It's not a thinking game. It's just a balls to the wall offense game. Heat just controls the game. Whether it's all that stuff not being balanced, or whether it's just like the silly stuff that just kind of grates on players, like, dragging Anakin and FDX up there to talk about Chipotle for an hour, or, whatever it is, to the more actually nasty stuff like hiding a cash shop in the game and then sneaking in it after launch so that you purposefully dodge lower review scores because of it, or wasting everybody's time saying you got big news and it's just a Nike announcement, and all this product placement and just nasty microtransaction, obfuscated currency, and those kind of things. There's so many L's this game has taken. There's been so much poor planning and poor marketing and poor content. The season passes are awful content-wise. I could very well see this just being a case of it's not a guest character. It's not anything special. It's Marduk. It's Julia Chang. It's another Tekken 7 DLC rehash. And for whatever reason, they just got behind and they're not ready to show it yet. Or maybe, they feel like, oh, this character leaked. Marduk was in the files. It actually is Marduk, and we just don't want to show it because people are just going to be like, oh, we already knew. We told you so. They're just trying to save some of that. But those are my thoughts. I just want to know what you guys think. Who is the final DLC character? Is it a guest character? Is that why they're waiting? Has Namco just dropped the ball again? Is it some news that maybe they think people aren't going to be so excited about, so they're going to try to push it down the road and like kind of sneak it out on a Friday at 3 p.m. kind of thing? What do you guys think about that next character? Who's it going to be? I would love to know what you guys think in the comments. I've rambled on long enough. Be on the lookout for new Secret Characters podcast episodes, as well as some new documentary content. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. You guys are awesome.